Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Monday, October 11th, 2010. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, in Hamilton 12:30, and in Mexico City 10:30. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. Today is Columbus Day in the United States. The post offices and banks are closed. The stock markets are open. Most schools are closed. We are at work, as are most other people. There's two little breaking stories that came out. Number one, just about an hour ago, the Washington Post reported that the first stem cell transplant had been done into a human being. This is in a specialty spinal cord hospital in the suburbs of Atlanta. All that's known is that the individual was paralyzed because of a spinal cord injury. No news yet on the person's identity or anything else relating to that. Also, the Nobel Prizes for Economics were awarded today, and they were awarded to two gentlemen who were able to explain how markets failed. No doubt they had an awful lot of fodder for study over the past several years. Now we'll go to our main news. Well, there was a raging fire in the Baltic Sea, actually, in one of the tributaries, the Fairmont Strait, that engulfed the Lithuanian freighter, the Lisko Gloria. Here's a picture of it here. No lives were lost. Everybody was evacuated. It burned for a full day, more than a full day, on Friday, and it drifted into Danish waters. German and Danish emergency crews were hosing the ship down. They've now put the fire out, but they're still hosing it in order to cool it. At some point later today, the ferry is going to be towed into the mainland. It's not clear yet as to which destination, what port it's going to go to. The ferry was on its way to Klaipėda from the German port of Kiel. According to the Danish Navy, the boat is carrying about 200 tons of oil, but there's no sign of any leakage. The fire apparently began in a truck, which was parked below deck. Well, some more news on the Hungarian sludge. This morning, the Prime Minister of Hungary said that the head of the company that owns the metal plant where the reservoir flooded the toxic red sludge into the Danube and many other areas was actually arrested. The government is going to take over direction of the MAL, Hungarian Aluminum Production and Trade Company. Also, and we can go to our next story now, number 3, there is a very strong likelihood that another wall of sludge, about half again as big as the first wall, is going to come any minute now. There's a damaged industrial reservoir that's likely to collapse. About 1 million cubic meters of the waste leaked out last week. Now there's a very high risk of another 500,000 cubic meters of even thicker sludge escaping the reservoir due to deterioration of a wall in part of that same reservoir. As of last night, the Hungarians were saying that the crack is now widened by 7 centimeters from Friday. As of this morning, they're saying there's been no widening of the crack, although they're still expecting that something's going to happen. They say that they've amassed protective and neutralizing material needed to stop any new contamination from reaching the Danube River. They've also evacuated everybody in the area. Well, over the weekend down in southern Illinois, a Euclid Chemical Corporation plant caught on fire and essentially is burning to the ground. This happened in Bureau County, Illinois. Federal EPA investigators say they're going to stay on the scene as long as it takes to determine whether or not any toxins have been released into the area. Officials say that at least 4 firefighters who inhaled the potentially toxic smoke had to seek medical treatment after they reported difficulty breathing. Residents nearby have been asked to stay inside all weekend and today with all windows and doors shut to reduce possible exposure to dangerous chemicals. One employee of the plant said, "We've got labels on our barrels in there that say can cause permanent nerve damage, brain damage, and respiratory problems." Company officials call their Euclid plant near Sheffield, Illinois, a total loss. They say that they're going to work, of course, with investigators to try to find out what sparked the massive chemically fueled fire. The stock market in New York is open, a little choppy. It's up about 4.8 points right now. We'll go to a word from our sponsors. Lloyd's is announcing that a new premium bordereau standard is going to be launched at the end of this month. They hope to institutionalize it from the beginning of 2011. Bordereau business or binder business or program business at Lloyd's represents about a quarter of Lloyd's direct written premium. There are over 2,500 cover holders who provide the bordereau data around the world. About a third of them come from the U.S., a third come from the U.K. Speaking on Friday during a panel session on bordereau processing at the Insurance Day Technological Forum, Adam Stafford at Lloyd's told delegates that there were 3 different bordereau that the market was looking to standardize. He said, quote, "There is the risk bordereau, which is the property piece. We've now developed a premium standard that is global and is multi-class." And he said that that's something that's not subjective like some of the risk information. It's black and white accounting and tax information. And he said, "I think everyone agrees we should have an easier ride with that." Just as an FYI, our sister company, CATEX, provides a bordereau management service that conforms with everything Lloyd's has released to date. Meanwhile, in Baghdad, I should say, Iraq's Ministry of Oil is now putting clauses into contracts with energy firms that stipulate that they have to place insurance with an Iraqi registered company. This is following years of stunted business volumes in the Iraqi insurance market as a result of war and economic sanctions. The Iraqi Ministry of Oil has started to try to arrest this decline by mandating that insurance premiums have to stay in the country. International oil firms have responded by requesting that they retain some of the risk in their captive insurers. In a special report on the Middle East market in today's Insurance Day, it's been revealed that the clause, which is called Article 14, has been inserted into 5 recent contracts for international oil firms. The largest domestic Iraqi insurer, the state-owned National Insurance Company, is the one that's going to benefit the most from this clause. Iraq's insurance market was once considered one of the most sophisticated in the Middle East back in the 1970s and 80s. At the time, the state-owned reinsurer Iraq Re had a London office. However, in the last 30 years, the country's insurance sector has been decimated as war has left the economy in turmoil. I remember where that office was. It was in one of those warrens of alleys between Lloyd's and Fenchurch Street. Well, in the U.S., this story has actually received some legs. It's a little bit strange because in the United States, people are scratching their head in regards to Western European governmental practices of awarding monthly benefit payments per child to perfectly legitimate citizens who have perfectly adequate incomes. And there was a story in the New York Times about 2 weeks ago about how Britain was still awarding this, and then the conservative government got wind of it and arbitrarily cut out most of it, if not all of it. The new labor leader, Ed Miliband, here now says that even millionaires should get the child benefit. He's attacking the government's welfare cuts as unfair. He spoke out as a poll showed that 3 of 4 voters opposed, quote, the unfair way that the new government decided to target stay-at-home mothers by eliminating a child benefit for those with just one earner on more than £44,000 a year. Under the government's plans, families with incomes over £80,000 can still get the benefit as long as both parents are under the threshold. That's a lot of money. However, the labor leader criticized the move yesterday, saying that there were families on £45,000 who needed the cash they would now lose. After a reporter said, do you think that if you're a millionaire you should keep it? Miliband says, yes, I'm in favor of that, yes. And I'm in favor of it because it's a cornerstone of our system to have universal benefits. Frankly, he said, there aren't that many millionaires in this country. Families on £45,000, he continued, need child benefit, and it's a way that society recognizes the costs of having children. Of course, the new labor leader said that he would spell out their positions, labor's positions on the cuts, before the penultimate, drumroll please, big public spending review that's coming on October 20th. That's the day that the British government is going to release the axe list, where everybody is going to see just in fact how far this axe is going to go. Miliband criticized the government's assertion that the state should not be expected to finance every child in large families. He said, quote, I don't think people want politicians telling them how many kids they can have. Well, I don't think the government's telling them how many kids they have. I think the government is suggesting to them that you can have as many kids as you wish so long as you have the means to provide for them. That's something that has Americans sort of wondering, it's a little strange. Well, the baseball playoffs are firming up. The Yankees have won. They won 3 games to none, and the Philadelphia Phillies have won 3 games to none. So we're still now waiting to see if Tampa can come back and beat Texas, and we're waiting also to see whether or not the Giants can go ahead and beat, who are they playing? I don't even remember. We should be able to figure this out. It's not that important. I know that nobody outside the United States is vaguely interested in this, and if you're interested in it in the United States, you already know who the missing team is. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. If not, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.